Breakfast with Elli.
Mode ani lefanecha melech chai vekayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla rabba emunatecha.
Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. A good devil he did, a good devil he did. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did, devil he did. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Lass mir sein zufrieden. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Lass mir sein zufrieden. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Devil he did. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Good devil he did. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Lass mir sein zufrieden. Oy, 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 oy. A good devil he did. Lass mir sein zufrieden. Oy, 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 oy.
Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Elli. It is Sunday. Shavua Tov. It is the first day of May, the 30th day of Nissan, the first day of Rosh Chodesh Iyar. I know. The Torah portion is Kedoshim. Finally. HaYom Rishon L'Shabbos, first day toward counting up toward Shabbos. We're learning the first Aliyah, and we will count the Omer in a few minutes. Rosh Chodesh, Iyar, the month of Iyar, Aleph Yud Yud Resh, and it stands for Ani Hashem, two Yuds, Refa'echa. I am Hashem who heals you. I know, right? Yeah. Big time stuff. Big time stuff. The month of Iyar is wonderful. It is a month full of blessings. Every single day in the month of Iyar, we say the Omer. So there's a bracha made every single day of the month of Iyar. It's a month full of blessing. And it is May. So there's that too. All right, let's get started. One mitzvah, Rosh Chodesh. It's a good day to see this. All right, let us begin with the first bracha of the day, al divrei Torah. hard drive being slow this morning. Don't know why. All right, let's go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al divrei Torah.
All right. Fantastic. Hareini Makabo, are you ready?
We say it every day before we start to pray. Hareini Makabel, alay mitzvah saseh.
All right, here we go.
Hareini Makabel, alay mitzvah taseh. Shel ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I take upon myself every single day to love my fellow friend in a very special way.
All right. And now, Torah Tzivah.
Torah ציווה לנו משה, מורשם מורשה קהילת יעקב. תורה ציווה לנו משה, מורשם מורשה קהילת יעקב.
And now, time for tzedakah.
I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else to keep. Yeah, I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else in need.
Spia. Tomorrow, guys. All right. And now let's say the Shema. Everybody together. Ready? Let's go.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
All right. Fantastic. And now let us make our morning bracha. Well, we've got business to do before we get there. That's important. All right? All right, my apple cinnamon twist yogurt and my coffee. Kahlua? Can't tell. Are you ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nihya b'dvarei. No, not Kahlua. Can't tell what it is. I don't know. I can't. That's weird, right? I should be able to tell what it is. All right. Yeah, let's count the Sphira.
HaYom HaYom Shloisha Yom Shem Shavuah
Forgive me while I get the right one in.
49 days to count the Omer.
All right.
After it's dark, Mark, at the end of my read, Steve, do it in shul, shmuel, just count with me. Look for the stars, Tamar, just be sure to make the bracha. Erev is the key, Tzvi, count sphere with me.
All right. For Shabbos, today was 14 days. Discipline, nobility of discipline, malchus of gvura. Discipline like love must enhance personal dignity. Discipline that demoralizes a person will backfire. And healthy discipline should bolster self-esteem and help elicit the best in a person, cultivating their sovereignty. This expression of discipline doesn't compromise. The discipline, on the contrary, fosters and enhances the love. So, does my discipline cripple the human spirit? Does it weaken or strengthen me and others? Your exercise was, when disciplining your child or student, foster their self-respect. All right. All right, we have completed 2 weeks. So we are beginning the third week. All right. We are counting 2 weeks and 1 day today, which is Chesed Sheb'Tiferes. And Tiferes. Tiferes is beauty, compassion, harmony, truth. Tiferes blends and harmonizes the free outpouring of love of Chesed with the discipline of Gevurah. Tiferes possesses the power by introducing a third dimension. Chesed, Gevurah, Avram, and Yitzchak, and Yaakov was Tiferes. All right, the dimension of truth, which is neither love nor discipline, and therefore can integrate the two. Truth is accessed through selflessness, rising above your ego and your predispositions, enabling you to realize a higher truth. Truth gives you a clear and objective picture of yours and others' needs. The imbalance of love and discipline, and for that matter, any distortion, is a result of a subjective, hence limited perspective. Introducing truth by suspending personal prejudices allows you to express your feelings. This quality gives Tiferet its name, which means beauty. It blends the different colors of love and discipline, and this harmony makes it beautiful. So today, loving kindness in compassion, Chesed of Tiferes. Examine the love aspect of compassion. Ask yourself, is my compassion tender and loving, or does it come across as pity? Is my sympathy condescending and patronizing? Even if my intention is otherwise, do others perceive it as such? Does my compassion overflow with love and warmth? Is it expressed with enthusiasm, or is it static and lifeless? Exercise for today. When helping someone, extend yourself in the fullest way and offer a smile or a loving gesture. Very cool, right? All right. Day 15 in Rabbi Sachs. Okay, here we go. Very good. Perfect. Let me just get to this here. All right. Rabbi Sachs says, in the midst of what can sometimes be dark and chaos of this human world, our task is to create order and light. How many times have we said that? I know, right? How many times have we said that? All right, moving on to today in Jewish history. I gotta have a better system over here because this system is getting messed up. That doesn't work. All right. Yeah, we'll figure this out. By the end of Omer, we'll figure it out. All right. Today in Jewish history, a bunch of stuff here. Let me just get to it. Computer's acting weird today. No, I need to remind you. Today is the last day that you can make Birchas HaIlonos, the blessing on the trees. Can I put that up? Is this it? No, that's not it. Where is it? I thought I had it right here. Nope, so I'm going to put it up. I got it. So hold on. I'm going to get it because I don't want you to miss out on this. If you have not done this yet, there is a blessing, a special blessing that we make during the month of Nissan. All right? And let me see if I can put this in a good color. That's good. Tell me if you can't see it, and I'll change the color of it. Well, I know that's not going to work, but I'll fix that. Hold the lion. Yeah, that doesn't work. Let me put a proper background on that. Proper background. There you go. All right, you can definitely see that. All right. Today is the last day you can do this. So go out and look at blossoming fruit trees if you can, but any blossoming tree is fine. Okay. You want to go out there and look at the tree, and then you want to make the following blessing. All right. Here it is. All right. Now, this can only be done once a year. So today is the last day that you can do this. All right. If you need to snapshot this or copy it down, I'll give you another couple of seconds here. Go ahead and do that. You can always go back and replay this video and get this also. All right? All right. Okay. All right, I'm taking it off. Okay. We did this. All right, today is the yahrzeit of Rabbi HaYom Vital, who passed away in the year 1620. The Rabbi HaYom Vital was a Kabbalist, famed Kabbalist who authored the mystical work Eitz Chaim. Rabbi HaYom was the leading disciple of the Arizal, Rabbi Isaac Luria, and the transcriber of his teachings from the Lurianic school of Kabbalah. All right, that's important. Today is also the passing of Rabbi Yosef ibn Migash, who studied under Rabbi Yitzchak Alfasi for 14 years. After Rabbi Alfasi died, he succeeded him as the head of the Talmudic Academy in Lucerna, Spain. His halachic opinions were sought near and far, and he taught numerous disciples, including Rabbi Maimon, the father of the Rambam, Maimonides. Although he didn't study under him personally, the Rambam viewed Rabbi Yosef as his own teacher and greatly praised him. Today is also the yahrzeit of Rabbi Yaakov Emden in the year 1776. He was the son of Rabbi Tzvi Ashkenazi, known by the acronym the Yavetz, Yaakov ben Tzvi. He was a great scholar and author who lived in Emden and then in Altona, both in Germany. He was known for his zealousness and his willingness to fight for what he felt was right, disregarding any opposition. Among his works is a prayer book with commentaries. It is called the Sidur Yavetz, Rabbi Yaakov Emden. I know. All right. And I think, yeah. All right. And today is the first day of Rosh Chodesh, Iyar, the second month on the Jewish calendar, counting from Nissan. Shortly after the Exodus, the thirsty Israelites reached a bitter well of water. Moshe cast a tree into the water and miraculously became sweet. Hashem then promised that if Israel followed his ways, the diseases I have placed on Egypt I will not place upon you, for I am Hashem, your healer. Ani Hashem Refa'echa. The acronym for this last phrase spells out the name of this month, Iyar, indicating that Iyar is a propitious time for healing. This is the first of a 2-day Rosh Chodesh. So when a month has 30 days, both the last day of the month and the first day of the following month serve as the month's Rosh Chodesh. Special portions are added to the prayers. The Hallel is recited in its partial form. There's a Rosh Chodesh Musaf that is said today. We put on Rabbeinu Tam Tefillin before we say Musaf, because we don't wear two crowns, as we've talked about many times. And there's a special custom to make a beautiful Rosh Chodesh meal today. So, go for it. All right? Go for it. We began saying Pirkei Avos on Shabbos. We will be learning some of that a little bit later on. And yeah, I think that's all I have to tell you in this particular section. Things in Ukraine are still not good.
Or two. Millions of refugees, among them tens of thousands of Jews, are escaping the battlefield and streaming en masse across the border directly into Poland. Around the world, people are anxious, sympathetic to the plight of the war-torn survivors and waiting to see what tomorrow will bring. But here in Warsaw, we don't have the luxury of watching or offering sympathy from afar. Here, the refugees end up literally on our doorsteps. Hundreds are calling us daily from both sides of the border, begging for our assistance. Here at Chabad of Warsaw, we've launched a massive emergency help operation that includes transportation from the border to Warsaw and from Warsaw to other destinations. Accommodations for 200 people per night in an assortment of apartments, hotels, and other facilities. With the huge shortage of accommodation, refugees are stuck in Warsaw with nowhere to turn. And for these men, women and children, Chabad's help means a roof over their heads at night. Hot meals and essentials including medicines and diapers to 400 people daily. Medical and psychological care and assisting those in quarantine for COVID, all while shipping thousands of food packages and basic necessities from Poland to Ukraine. With Pesach right around the corner, we've rented an entire hotel in Warsaw to house over 300 Ukrainian refugees, and we urgently need to raise $1 million to cover the next 50 days worth of emergency operations. Join Chabad of Warsaw and open your hearts and hands to the thousands who've already lost their country, their homes, and their loved ones.
Spaziba Chabad. I know. What can I tell you? Computer, why are you stuck? I don't know why my computer is doing anything that it does. All right, this is all wrong. I don't know where this is coming from. But anyway, let me go to the right one. There you go. All right. If you can donate, it would be a big, huge mitzvah to donate to this cause. All right. HaYom Yom for today, the 30th day of Nissan. Coming up.
Jews take their food very seriously, and Hasidim take their Farbrengens very seriously. Today's HaYom Yom is about the appropriate venues for specific Hasidic gatherings. It says today's HaYom Yom. The Farbrengens that are held for Su'uda Shlishis, for Shalosh Shudas, at late on Shabbos afternoon, as well as the Farbrengens that are held on Shabbos Mavorchim, the Shabbos on which you bless the coming month, and Farbrengens in honor of holidays. All of these Farbrengens should be held in the shul. But Farbrengens of Malava Malka, the Farbrengens that are held after Shabbos goes out on Saturday night, those Farbrengens, Malava Malka Farbrengens, should be held in the private homes of members of the community. Why are the Saturday night Farbrengens supposed to be held in private homes? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that if the Farbrengens to bid farewell to the Shabbos Queen are held in a home, then perhaps the sweet taste of Shabbos will linger in that home throughout the entire week.
Yeah, it's a beautiful explanation. And I'm totally down with that. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you. Reminder to take my medications, but I did that already. All right. Moving on to breaking news. The Holocaust Survivors Initiative, to be administered by the New York State Office of the Aging, is going to fund programs and provide health care and other services to 40,000 residents of New York State who are victims of Nazi genocide, 40% of whom are in poverty, according to Governor Kathy Hochul. On the eve of Holocaust Remembrance Day, the governor addressed Jewish leaders in Brooklyn and announced the state's fiscal year 2023 budget is going to include $2.6 million in funding to support Holocaust survivors. The initiative is a program of the state. Before announcing the funding, Hochul met with a group of survivors. Year to year, the funding increases support for Holocaust survivor services by over $1 million. UJA Federation of New York, the Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty, and other Jewish nonprofits lobbied for the funding. The UJA Federation of New York is grateful for the unwavering efforts of the governor and the legislature, resulting in the $2.6 million to support critical services for Holocaust survivors in New York, according to Eric Goldstein, the CEO of the Federation. Because of their past trauma, survivors often require a special set of social, medical, and mental health services, and this funding will make a dramatic difference in helping these individuals access the care they need and with age and dignity. Sorry about that. Thursday was Yom HaShoah, a day established in 1951 by lawmakers in Israel to remember the victims of the Holocaust. What a great initiative. All right. And we've talked about the new app that there is for the Rebbe's letters. And I think that's important. We're going to show you a small video on that here. Beijing has banned all restaurant dining, shut down Universal Studios, and ordered residents to provide proof of negative COVID testing to enter public venues in a major escalation of restrictions and a 5-day holiday in China begins this weekend. All right. Let's see. I think that's it for today. Yeah? All right. And now, a word from our sponsor. PestProRidall.com.
PestProRidall.com, trusted by the best to keep away the pests. We are offering COVID-19 disinfection services. Mention this ad and get 1 month free service. Visit us at PestProRidall.com.
Tarzan Group, micro, miniature, and small orchids. Go to tarzangroup.com or call Tomas at 305-440-0565. That's 305-440-0565. And order today. Visit Tomas and Iyar at tarzangroup.com. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Beautiful in your home. Go to the website and read Tomas's orchid blog. And by Dina D Design. DinaDDesign@gmail.com. Fine artwork, custom made to your specifications. Logos, wall hangings, Judaica. And you can even have something for your child's room. Dina D Designs. Go to her Facebook or Instagram or call or text. Thank you very much to our sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please go right up here to where it says patreon.com/theactorsrabbi, and you can contribute even only $1 a month if you'd like, but that'll help us bring this broadcast to you on a daily basis and cover our expenses. Be sure to thank your sponsors when shopping and mention Breakfast with Elli when you're shopping there. There might be discounts. Thanks for watching.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe.
All right. Well, tomorrow is going to be officially the first day of Iyar. So I'm going to save some of what we are about to learn about the month. I'm going to save that for tomorrow, okay? Because somebody just asked me when we're going to learn about Iyar. All right. The name of the Parsha. It's something we do on Sundays. Let me see if I can find a little gizmo over here. Here we go. There you are. The name of the Parsha. Where? Oh, that messed up, huh? There we go. Name of the Parsha. No? Not a good place? There. That's a good place. All right. A unique quality of Parsha's Kedoshim is that it was said directly to Moshe. It's said directly by Moshe to the people, unlike the other laws of the Torah, which were first taught to Aaron and the elders. As Rashi writes at the opening of this week's Parsha, this Parsha was said to the assembled congregation of Israel because most of its basic teachings depend on it. The first thing that the Jewish people were told after being assembled was, Kedoshim tihiyu, you should be holy because I, your God, am holy. Now, we might have thought that when addressing the public about the basic teachings of Torah, the first thing to do would be to warn the people about keeping the mitzvahs and the grave consequences of their non-observance. And only then would it be appropriate to stress the positive side of the mitzvahs, such as the great merit that the Jewish people have to be given these laws. Moshe would then have followed the sequence of the verse, Sur mera ve'aseh tov, turn away from evil and do good. In fact, Moshe did the very opposite. First, he stressed the positive aspects of being Jewish and observing the mitzvahs. You should be holy because I, God, your God, am holy. The holiness of a Yid is connected with the holiness of Hashem himself. And only after this positive introduction did he begin to stress the seriousness of the mitzvahs. From this, we can learn that we should always approach another Yid with warmth, friendliness, and positivity. Experience has shown that intimidating with people with fear of divine retribution and prophecies of doom is simply not as effective as taking a positive approach, which draws people towards observant Judaism rather than scaring them away, God forbid. Side note, there was a shul in the city that I lived where the rabbi, a very, very large man, not fat, but football player build, 6'2", 350 pounds of, all muscle and a little gut, with a booming, deep voice. And his Shabbos sermons rivaled that of the most fiery evangelical that I've ever seen on TV. And this rabbi would give these Musar addresses and cautionary tales, and fire and brimstone would rain from the pulpit. And I never understood why he did that. And it always was a wonderment to me, because the congregation turned out to be very modern Orthodox. And, walking around the fringes of halacha rather than embracing it with arms wide open. Not to say that people were not from, God forbid, the people were from. But it appeared to me that sometimes he pushed them away a little too hard. It was quite different than the teachings of Chassidus and the Rebbe. All right? Now, even though the verse seems to suggest that the negative must come first, as it says in Tehillim, Sur Mera ve'asei tov, turn away from evil and do good, we can nevertheless interpret the verse as follows: in order to turn away from evil, simply do good, and the evil will take care of itself. Yep, from a Sikha from the Rebbe, who was not a fan of fire and brimstone. Hey, listen, when it needed to be said, the Rebbe said it. There's no question about it. But, small dacha yamin mekareves. You push away with your left hand, but you bring close with the right hand. All right? Chesed, Givura. And then Tiferes. In the first Aliyah, Hashem commands the Jewish people to be holy. The section then previously discusses several laws: revering parents, observing Shabbos, prohibitions against idolatry, the obligation to burn leftover sacrificial flesh from the karbonos, the obligation to leave certain parts of the harvest for the poor, the payas, the corners of the harvest, not to lie, not to cheat, not to withhold wages, not to swear falsely, not to curse, and not to mislead another. Here's Rabbi Majeski from Shnayim Yomi to explain further. Here he comes. Any day.
Parshas Kedoshim Rishon. Parshas Kedoshim deals with some of the most important mitzvahs of the entire Torah. Rashi says we're about to read that this is the Gufei HaTorah. The majority of the Torah is in this week's Parsha. Kedoshim means to be holy. What does holy mean? Holy means to be elevated, to be special, to be different. There are 51 mitzvos, aseis and los aseis, that are in this week's Parsha. And it's actually really 70, and the reason why we say 51 is because some of these other mitzvos are mentioned in other parts of the Torah, and here they are repeated. But some of first want to say that the 70 is Keneged, the 70 nations of the world. That when we keep these 70 mitzvos, that's what makes us special and different than the rest of 70 nations. So let's just talk about a few of the ideas that we're about to see in this Aliyah. Number one, we have the idea of Yiras Ava'im, of fearing your parents. That's right, we have this week's Parsha, to not contradict them, to have a certain awe and fear how you look at your parents. We have the mitzvahs over here that apply to Avodah Zarah. And when it comes to Avodah Zarah, you can't even think about them. You can't even make them. They shouldn't even be your thoughts. You stay far, far away from them. Then we come to the mitzvahs of taking care of aniyim. We have leket, peah, the halachos that apply to making sure you leave special grapes. We want to make sure that the aniyim and the poor people have food when they're going through your fields. We have the aseis and los aseis. Then we have all the mitzvahs that apply to stealing. You cannot steal someone's money. You cannot steal someone's money or possessions, and you cannot hold back possessions which belongs to someone else. So if you're watching someone's basketball, he says give it back. You say, "Oh, what are you talking about?" That is a lot, and of course you can't swear in that. The Chinuch says, why do we have so many mitzvahs that apply to stealing and not taking things back? He says anything you find in the Torah that Hashem talks about a lot and gives you a lot of lavim, it's because He's saying this is important to me. Whenever you see something which comes up a lot, don't be careful with someone else's money. Don't steal in the open. Don't steal at night. It's because Hashem's saying this is crucial. So we have all those halachas in this Aliyah. And finally, towards the end, we have the mitzvahs of being careful how you talk to another Yid. Don't curse another Yid. The Mepharshim say that your mouth is so special and so precious because when Hashem blew into you, right, when Hashem created man, He created him with His breath. And the Mepharshim say He gave us the power of speech. Our speech was what makes us godlike. And that power of speech is very, very special. We have to be careful how we talk to another Yid, to lift them up, and chas v'shalom, not to curse them or put them down.
All right. Yeah, we have time today. Our Parsha report.
Good evening, and welcome to the Parsha Report. This week in Parshas Kedoshim, the Torah commands us to be holy. With us now is our senior holiness correspondent, Gefilte Fish.
Don't look surprised, Rabbi. I happen to have a master's degree in holiness, and one in food service management, but that's for another time, when the bank processes my loan request ignoring my horrible credit. Anywho, hello there, friends, and welcome to my sanctuary of holiness, tranquility, and love.
G-Fish, can I borrow your motorcycle?
I can't speak right now. I'm in the middle of a show. Oh, and no, you may not. Hello again, friends. Let me now teach you an exercise in holiness. First, you must get into position. Put point A behind point B, then tuck point C underneath point A and pull point D through point Q as shown in the diagram. Ah, now you may begin to relax and feel the holiness. Holiness. Inhale. Now exhale. Inhale. Hold it. Hold it. Inhale. Inhale a little bit more. Good. Now inhale.
G-Fish, your mother is on the phone.
Oh, man, if I've told you once, I've told you a bazillion times. If my mother calls during a show, tell her I'm in the hospital, and I'll call her when I'm better, okay? Oh, hello again, friends. Now, where were we?
Excuse me, Gefilte Fish, but one of our viewers just called and complained that his brother just passed out because you never told him he could exhale. I think you might have your priorities a little bit skewed.
Excuse me, sir, but I don't think this is a time or place to be lecturing me about my priorities. That's why they're called my priorities, because they're mine. Oh, and everybody can exhale now. Now inhale.
Gefilte Fish, I really don't appreciate the way you've been speaking to me.
I really don't appreciate the way you've been speaking to me.
Seriously, it's really bothering me.
Seriously, it's really bothering me.
Stop repeating everything I say.
Stop repeating everything I say.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Rabbi, gefilte fish is bothering me. Andy kicked me in the shins yesterday.
I don't have legs, let alone feet to kick you with.
Hold it, guys. This is getting completely out of hand. Again. I really should ground you two from playing with each other.
But Rabbi!
Gefilte fish, I think your idea of holiness might be a little bit mixed up. When the Torah tells us to be holy, it continues by giving us several commandments as to how to treat other people. Giving tzedakah, judging legal disputes honestly, honesty in business, revering your parents, and loving your neighbor are just a few of them. Behaving like a mensch in everyday life is one of the first and most important steps in behaving in a holy way.
And deep breathing?
Well, if deep breathing helps you behave morally, then yes.
Oh, well then, I guess I have to go throw away my trick calculator.
You mean the one that squirts water in my face when I try to use it?
I feel better already.
G-Fish, you should call your mom back while I borrow your motorcycle. And she might be more than a little upset. I had to add quite a few details to make the whole thing more believable.
Yes, I will call my mother back and assure her that I am in fact healthy. But please don't touch my motorcycle, as you will no doubt hurt yourself, and that would be kind of upsetting for all of us. I stress, kind of.
Very good, gefilte fish. Now you're starting to sound holy. Kind of. Well, that's all the time we have for now. See you again next week for the Parsha Report.
Very, very silly. All right. A little bit more serious. Not too much.
True love, the holy grail of human experience.
We strive for it in our marriages, our friendships, and all our relationships.
It feels great, it's fulfilling, it gives us a sense of purpose.
It can solve almost any problem on earth.
Love. But what is love? And how do we score it?
This week's parsha tells us, V'ahavta l'reyacha kamecha. Love your fellow as you love yourself.
Rabbi Akiva says this mitzvah is the basis of the entire Torah. If you can understand love, you can understand Torah.
The Baal Shem Tov was the ultimate lover. A great tzaddik, scholar, and leader, he spent his time and energy with the simple folk. He didn't mind that they were ignorant, simple, or ordinary. He loved them like he loved himself.
The Maggid of Mezrich took it a radical step further. He taught, love the greatest sinner like he's the greatest saint. Yes, he may be corrupt and depraved, but that's the insignificant outer shell. Dig deep, and you'll find a tzaddik inside.
Then came the Alter Rebbe with a revolutionary idea. In the heart of Tanya, he says, Avas Yisrael is such true love that all you see is the tzaddik in the Jew. The love is so great, you just feel connected. No judging, no comparing, no digging, just love.
Beautiful. But how?
It just requires a shift of focus. We all share the same neshama. We are all children of Hashem, and our souls are all a part of Hashem.
So don't love your fellow because he is like you. Love your fellow because he is you.
All right. Can't argue with that. It's about as clear as it gets. All right. I have been waiting for Rabbi Marder's video on Pirkei Avos, and it has not come in yet. I'm not skipping Pirkei Avos, but we're going to put it off till tomorrow. We are beginning chapter. All right, that's okay. Let's put it till tomorrow because I don't have a video yet. Hold on one second. You know what? Maybe I do. Do you mind giving me a second? see. No, this is all chapter 1. And that's chapter 3. No, I think I'm gonna have to bow out for today. I apologize because usually I'm much better prepared than this. Let me see. No. I apologize. Yeah, we're going to have to put off Pirkei Avos for today. I can give you a general overview over here of chapter 2. If you give me 1 second here. Again, I apologize for not being more ready. All right, Perek Base. This is such a great book. If you don't have this, you should really get this. All right, this is a great book. All right, Perek Sheni, chapter 2. Kol Yisrael yesh lam chelik la'olam haba. All Yisrael, all Jews have a portion in the world to come. Shenemar v'amech kulam tzadikim, that your nation is all righteous. Le'olam yesha'aretz, they will inherit Israel forever. They will never be exiled from it again. Netzar matai maiseh yodai lehispoyer, and they will recognize that they are the branch of my planting and the work of my hands, in which I, Hashem, take pride. All right? And it begins with Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, who was also known as Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbeinu HaKodesh, our holy rabbi. He was the son of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel from the last Mishnah of the previous chapter. He was born on the day that Rabbi Akiva was murdered by the Romans. Rabbi lived a long life and served as the Nasi, the leader of the Sanhedrin, for many, many years. Rabbi is most famous for compiling the Mishnah. He is the one that realized that the people were forgetting the oral law, so he brought all the Chachamim, all the sages together to resolve disputes and record all the halachas in a single system. He finished compiling the Mishnah in the year 3948, 120 years after the destruction of the Holy Temple, the Second Temple. Before his passing, Rebbe assured his family that he would return home every Friday night and asked him to prepare the candles, the table, and his bed as before. And so it was. Years after his passing, Rebbe came home each week to make Kiddush for his family. This continued until it happened that a neighbor was visiting and bore witness to this amazing scene. After that, Rebbe did not return out of concern that other tzaddikim who did not share the same privilege of returning to their homes after their passing shouldn't seem less righteous than he. So he gave up this eternal bliss of coming home every Friday night. All right? Now, when you can choose, we shouldn't differentiate or choose between big mitzvahs and small mitzvahs. Therefore, the choice referred to in this Mishnah in regards to character traits that a person chooses to adopt. And when it says, do unto others, the first part of the Mishnah can also be read as a question and be asked, what is the proper path of treating someone else? Whatever you would choose for yourself. Before doing or saying anything to another person, stop and think, would I want this done to me? Now, the first Mishnah of Pirkei Avos, chapter 2, teaches the importance of balancing one's own needs with the needs of others. And this balance was especially important for Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, who was the leader of his generation. A leader must be willing to forego his own personal benefit in order to assist others. All right? And that's Pirkei Avos for today. Moving on to Tehillim. As you know, we are saying, learning, memorizing chapter 121 in honor of the Rebbe's 120th birthday. So we are going to say chapter 121 together. Are you ready?
Shir lamalos, esa einai el heharim, me'ayin, yavo Ezri, Ezri, me'im Adonai, Hosei, shomayim va'aretz, al yitain lamot raglecha, al yanum shomrecha, hinei lo yanum velo yishan, shomer Yisrael, Adonai shomerecha, Adonai tzilecha, al yad yeminecha, Yomam Hashemesh lo yakeka v'yareach baloila Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra yishmor es nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzeisecha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam.
Well, all right.
Tanya.
All right, back to learning Tanya for today, the 30th day of Nissan, the last day of Nissan. And here is Rabbi Roni Fine with that.
Thank you for joining Tanya in 5. Today's lesson for the 30th of Nissan. We continue chapter 43. Chapter 43 in one word is Bi'ahava, with love. We've been speaking about the fear of God and the two levels of the fear in God. So love also has two grades of love. Ahava Rabbah, called a great love, and Ava Selam, an eternal love. We begin with the higher level of love, and that is the Ahava Rabbah, the great love, is an ecstatic love, a fiery flame that rises of itself, meaning it's not something you can get there on your own. It is a gift that comes from above, from a person who is perfect in their awe of God, their fear of God. And as the sages say, that is the way of a man to seek out a woman. And spiritually, man represents ahava, love, and woman, fear. So man comes after there is fear. Fear of God, then you can have the love of God. In other words, it's a prerequisite to have it in order that you can have this higher level of love. This higher level of love is a love of delighting in God. It's a love that's truly an end in itself, something that we very few will experience in this lifetime. It'll be more as we'll learn more about it in the times to come. Why? Because it originates in the realm of Atzilus, the highest world, the highest world that is completely connected, not separated from God, and hence that love expresses itself in a complete, not seeking God, but actually delighting in Him. The lower level of love is that called Avaselam, which comes about from understanding and knowing the greatness of God, the way God fills all the world, meaning He's immanent. At the same time, He's not just immanent and therefore just present in a very real way in this world, but He also is beyond this world, transcends this world, soivev, encompassing this world. And furthermore, not only is He not just encompassing, but this world is completely nullified before Him as if it's nothing. In other words, that He is the only thing. As the analogy of the one utterance that we say, one letter, one word, that compare that to the soul itself, that it is completely incomparable. Now, as a result of such a contemplation, again, these three levels of God's presence, or the way we can perceive God, the attribute of love that is in the soul will then divest itself of its expression of loving other things, enjoying and having pleasure in the physical and even in the spiritual. Not to love the spiritual, seeking to be a spiritual junkie, so to speak. Not to love that at all, divesting oneself from that and only having a desire for the source of that pleasure. And what's the source of that pleasure? God Himself. He is the vitality of all the enjoyments. He is the reality, and there is nothing else but him compared to him. So hence, instead of, seeing the beautiful apple or whatever beautiful picture, scene that is before us, what we know is that there's something, a vitality behind that, and that's what I desire. I divest myself from its externality and desire the vitality of God. It is the true nature of the thing. Now, just as there's no comparison between that which is absolutely not and nothing to that which is everlasting. So the physical, in this respect, is completely nothing because it becomes rotten. After some time, it rots away, fades away, whatever the case may be, as opposed to the vitality of God that is everlasting and never, of course, fades. So this is where he divests the love from the physical or the spiritual in order to have the source of that, of his love rather directed towards the source, the inner dimension, which is the vitality of God. Now, this also applies to an individual, for example, who doesn't have the quality of love in them so easily. They're much more of a frigid person. Here we're talking about a person who has love, but is now in loving materiality, physicality, or even spirituality, and now divesting from there and now bringing it to a deeper level towards God. But then there's an individual who doesn't have that capacity because they're frigid, cold individual. Yet the Alter Rebbe says that even such a soul is able to kindle a burning coal of the intensive fire and desire for God because of the deep contemplation of how God is in the three dimensions we said: immanent, filling the world; transcending the world, encompassing the world; and that this world is nothing before him. And when there's a deep contemplation of this, even such an individual will be able to have a love for God. And that is Tanya in 5. Thank you for joining.
All right. And now we move on to Sefer HaMitzvahs of the Rambam. Well, we're supposed to move on.
No, it's not impossible that Ebed did say, just study Rambam each and every day.
Right, we're doing Mitzvah Minute number 322.
Whenever witnesses would come into a Jewish court to offer testimony on whatever case it might be, the Torah gives the judges a special commandment, positive Mitzvah 179, to interrogate the witnesses, make sure they're telling the truth. The Rambam tells us of 3 types of questioning witnesses would be subject to. The first category is called chakiros, investigative questions, which would establish the time, date, and place of the event being spoken about. The second category of questioning was called drishos, further inquiries which the judges would ask to establish facts directly related to the event. For example, if it's a case of idol worship, they might ask, which idol did he serve? If it's a case of murder, they might ask, what did he use to murder him? The third category of questioning is called b'dikos. These are questions that are about facts indirectly related to the event, but could be used if the judges so wished. For example, if the witnesses mentioned that they were standing under a tree, the judges might ask, what color were the fruits growing on that tree? Technically, witnesses could be questioned in any case: capital crimes, lashes, or monetary issues. However, the sages were worried that if monetary disputes would be subject to interrogation, people wouldn't loan money for fear that their witnesses wouldn't hold out to the questioning. So they eliminated the questioning concept from monetary disputes. However, in cases of murder and lashes, witnesses would be questioned.
It was tough back then, huh? It was tough. All right. I'm sorry. Do I seem a bit disorganized today? I think I am. Matters of Mashiach. Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just organizing something over here. Okay. I think we're good. All right. The age of information. In previous generations, the secrets of the Torah were hidden. But now, as we approach the time of Mashiach, we are obligated to reveal this wisdom. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria wrote that, the Arizal. The counting of the Omer, Sfirat HaOmer, begins with a sacrifice celebrating the early ripening barley harvest and ends with a sacrifice celebrating the late ripening wheat harvest. Barley has a shell and is very hard and difficult to remove. For that reason, barley is primarily used as animal fodder. Wheat has a thinner shell that's easy to remove, and consequently it's the grain of choice for grinding flour and baking bread. To a large degree, we've already finished the prerequisite refinement of the world. The fact that we live in the information age indicates that the world is now ready for the knowledge of Hashem. And it's up to each one of us to study, teach, and spread these teachings about Mashiach to hasten the revelation of this knowledge to the world. Tomorrow, we will go into great detail on the month of Iyar. I have a whole curriculum for tomorrow on the month of Iyar. All right? All right. Our PSAs. All right. Masbia subject to fire. Go to masbia.org/fire or breakfastwithelli.live/masbia. If you are in need of food, text the word food to 726-879, 726-879, and you can get 7 days worth of pantry food and hot meals every day. They are open and serving meals every day. Again, I was just by the other day, and I saw it with my own eyes. All right. Make sure that you write this down. If you live north of me in Rockland County, it's tomcheshabbos.org, tomcheshabbos.org, or Tomchei Shabbos Rockland. All right. Very important to help you out over there. And in Chicago, it's the Chicago Center Kitchen at breakfastwithelli.live/Chicago Food Bank. For all your other needs, Achiezer, no matter where you live, if you need something, Achiezer can help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Just One Shabbos is an organization that is bringing teenagers back to the mitzvah of fulfilling Shabbos. Very important to be able to help these people, okay? And in cases of need, Hatzalah is available in every community all around the world. And if you don't have Hatzalah in your community, you need to contact me so that we can make sure that they get there, all right? I think that's important. All right, that wasn't what I wanted. Hold on 1 second here. All right. If you are, God forbid, the victim of crime, I see a hate crime in progress, please text the word hate to 81336 in New York State, but call 911 first. Even Shabbos, even Yom Tov, very huge mitzvah to do that. All right? Miss Askim for times of bereavement. MissAskim.org is there for you. And again, if you don't know where to turn, you can always call them and they will put you in the right direction. And for crying out loud, let us please wear a mask.
Mask, wear a mask.
All right,
Is this
we are
really
still
much
in
to
a
ask?
time
Tie some
of
fabric round your face. Oh, it's the
spread
simplest
of
of
this,
tasks.
you know?
At the gym, at the store. Don't treat it like such a chore.
All right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that today, but please, do it and get vaccinated. If you haven't been vaccinated yet, please get vaccinated. I found out recently that a relative is not vaccinated. Her children are vaccinated, her husband is vaccinated, but she herself is not vaccinated. It's very strange. Very, very strange. All right? Our kindness a day. Are you in school? Join the community club. Al Tifresh Min HaTzibur, Pirkei Avos, chapter 2. This week's chapter. Don't separate yourself from the community. If there's an organization in your school that deals with community, you should be a part of it. All right? All right. Aaron loved the creatures and drew them closer to the Torah. He drew them near to Torah and not the Torah to them. You should never dilute Torah ideals or standards for the purpose of outreach. That was said by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Makarvan l'Torah, bring them close to the Torah. Whatever Torah said. Yeah, this is going to have to change. The situation is difficult to navigate. Yeah. All right. Bringing heaven down to earth. The Rebbe describes the following as a central teaching of the Baal Shem Tov. Not only the pirouettes of a leaf as it falls off the tree, the quivering of a blade of grass in the wind, each and every detail of existence brought into being, given life, and directed every moment from above. But beyond that, every nuance is an essential component of a grand and godly scheme, the gestalt of all those vital minutiae. Every moment burns with the pulse of Hashem's desire. Meditate on this, and then think, how much more so, the details of my daily life. Heavy-duty stuff. You want to talk about that? Come to me at any of my groups, The Actor's Rabbi, at WhatsApp, Twitter, Spaces, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify's Green Room, LinkedIn, Racket, Clubhouse, or at theactorsrabbi.com. And if you go to theactorsrabbi.com, you can sign up for my life coaching services, whatever it is you need. And those fees are on a sliding scale, so, yeah. Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam boirei nefashos rabois v'chesronan al kol ma sheborasa lachayos bohem nefesh kol chai baruch chai ha'olamim. All right. Thank you, Hashem, and thank you for watching. It means the world to me that you are here. We are now broadcasting live on YouTube. Well, we are for today. Let's see what happens after today, because I think I may have played some copyrighted material there. I don't know. I hope I didn't. I hope everything was good. But anyway, I know it's very difficult. It really is. It's very difficult. It's a tight rope to walk. A tight rope. It's a tight rope to watch. All right. Thank you to my Patreon sponsors, Pest Pro Result, Tarzane Orchids, Dina D Design, Sarah Elisheva Ashira, Dr. Susan Spitzer, Bracha Biederman. You, yes, you watching should become a sponsor today at breakfastwithelli. At patreon.com/theactorsrabbi or breakfastwithelli.live/tipjar. All right. A good tvach, a shavua tov, a good week. I hope that your Shabbos was as mine was, amazing. And the week to come, everything you need to be. And of course, you know that Sunday and Monday, today and tomorrow, is Rosh Chodesh. Do something special for Rosh Chodesh. Tomorrow is officially the first day of Iyar. Okay? Boker Tov, a good morning. Mayor Ben Dror has a brand new a cappella video out. Even though it's Rosh Chodesh and probably you're allowed to play music, our custom is that we don't. So here it is, an a cappella version of this. Go out and do something nice, something good for someone today. In the words of Rabbi Isaac Hamler, have affection for a fellow. Hashem will have affection for you. Do a kindness for a fellow. Hashem will do a kindness for you. Befriend a fellow. Hashem will befriend you. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful song. Shakshuka today for lunch. Oh, yeah. I'm very excited about that. Have a great day. Boker Tov, good morning, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Please bring one more person to watch with you, and welcome to all our new viewers and listeners on all the different platforms. Take care. Chodesh Tov. Bye.
בכל יום מחדש אני מודה, אני נרגש, כל נשימה חיים במתנה, חיים במתנה. בכל יום מתעלה, הלב מרגיש ומתמלא, ומתוכי פורצת מנגינה. בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם והוא שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם תמיד שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם. בכל יום מחדש אני מודה, אני נרגש, כל נשימה חיים במתנה. בכל יום מתעלה, הלב מרגיש ומתמלא, ומתוכי פורצת מנגינה. בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם והוא שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם תמיד שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם. חדש, מודה על כל הטוב והלב נפתח. בכל בוקר מתעורר, רואה עולם אחר, מתבונן על כל הטוב ושוב אומר בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם והוא שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם, בוקר שכזה, כל החושך נעלם, איזה יום יפה, אי שם שמיים בהירים מעלינו, יש מישהו שם תמיד שומר עלינו. בוקר טוב עולם.